guys, so I am heading back home from my cycle and my walk as well. It's a pretty amazing day today. I would like to share some of my experiences in this travel that I did recently during a pandemic. So anybody who would love to travel as well, okay, people who does not condone traveling during this pandemic, which I do not, will hear what I've experienced. I flew to the Virgin Islands on the 16th and from San Francisco. I was there for 10 days. Let me share with you my experiences. I drove myself to the airport and I put my car in the long-term parking and I requested for a shuttle. So the shuttle was different from the other shuttle that I've taken in the past. So this time it's a smaller shuttle. I was the only one in the shuttle together with the driver. So we are separated and there are markings on the seat to socially distance. This is in the shuttle. Upon arriving at the airport, San Francisco International, that was around 6 or 6:30. I expect gazillions of people around, but when I enter, actually the parking lot or the loading area, there's nobody, no one, but one cop and in the shuttle. What was shocking was when I entered the terminal. I did not see anybody in the terminal. I even asked myself, is the airport open? It is open. And then kind of iffy feeling and a weird feeling inside because it's summer. Expectedly, there are tons and tons of travelers. Lo and behold, I saw a few employees and a few passengers, solely isolated. Then it was a feeling of breath of fresh air. The airport is open. During the time, that was almost 10 days ago, around 6:30, in the terminal, I would recommend bring your own food because all concessionaires, all fast food restaurants, even the vending machines, they are not operational, nothing. So bring your own food if you're flying from San Francisco International Airport at this time. What about the boarding pass counters? I did not check my boarding pass from there. So what it is that, so I did an online check-in. I would recommend if you're flying now or during this pandemic, it's even better to check in online. At least normally the airline will allow you to do a check-in online 24 hours before your departure. So with that said, I did not go to the ticketing to get my boarding pass because I have it in my mobile device, online boarding pass, mobile boarding pass, I would say. It's better because there's less contact. Unfortunately, so especially we human beings are social individuals. We want to talk to other people. At least in my case, the less interaction this time, the better. Otherwise, you have to get into queue and then talk to the airline employee for your boarding pass. And they do have a plexiglass, it's becoming a typical now for their safety and for your safety as well. Were there markings on the floor for social distancing? In San Francisco Airport, I did not see anything at all. Even in queuing when you're getting your boarding pass. So I did not get my boarding pass from there, but I saw people, their tendency is to just get in queue and you just need to social distance. I think it's even better to get some markings on the floor for people to be reminded and for people to really know that it's actually being enforced. What about passing through the security? Actually, I did not see sanitizer. That's what I was expecting, hand sanitizer. Even at the entrance of the terminal, I didn't see any, hand sanitizer. I think you gotta bring your own. I had my own. And the employees, the security employees, the TSA, they are wearing face masks, but not full PPE. So you just need to be very conscientious. I would say cautious in touching all those touch points like the basin, and you just need to sanitize yourself. Bring your own sanitizer, which I did, alcohol. Social distancing in the security, I expect so, but I was the only passenger at that time, and one TSA, so there's less chance to socially distance. We are far anyway, so there's nothing to be worried about. But I think the worries will come when it's chock-a-block. Did I see any markings on the floor in the security area? I didn't see anything in San Francisco. What about in Miami Airport? The same thing. I didn't see any markings on the floor. There's no hand sanitizer. Practically you have to bring your own sanitizers. Now let's go to the gate. The seats at the gate, waiting seats, are they marked? No, they're not marked. So actually, I didn't see real-time social distancing. So passengers are seated next to each other. I didn't even sit, by the way, so I did a lot of walking that time. So at the terminal while waiting for boarding. So there's no markings, unlike in other airports that I've seen from the videos that I've been watching, like for instance in the Philippines, in Singapore, and in Europe as well. So the seats at the gate, they are clearly marked, so you got to really kind of like one seat apart. In the San Francisco airport, in Miami airport, more so in Miami, nothing. There was not even a reminder, like a PA reminder to socially distance. Nothing at all. It's actually even more evident in Miami airport, since when I arrived at Miami airport from San Francisco, it's about 6 hours flight. Everything is open basically. So it's in contrast with San Francisco. As I said a while ago, there's no concession. The direct concessionaires were very close. Food, nothing. You got to bring your own. But in Miami, you ain't get hungry at all. They're open, and chock-a-block, lots and lots and lots of passengers. It feels like a party. Bars are open. I don't think in Miami the restaurants there at the airport are limiting their diners. Looks like because there's no posted sign that say 30%, 50% capacity, which I didn't see. And when I saw people dining in, it's they are in line, social distancing, some not, and the all tables are occupied. Flew with American Airlines, and I was expecting that middle seats will not be taken. Practically all middle seats are taken, and the plane is really packed. Particularly the plane came back from Miami to San Francisco 2 days ago. They were even asking passengers if you would like to change your flight because it's really, really packed. Social or physical distancing on the plane with packed seats, I don't. It is impossible. Can you ask for a seat change to socially distance? You can if there are seats available, but I saw there's one guy who asked to be reseated, but I did not see that they record the new seat assignment. Technically, so they have to record or at least to take note of the new seating assignment if in case they need to do contact tracing. The only reminder that the aircraft, once we are all boarded, is to keep your face mask on, because you have to wear your face mask during the entire duration of the flight. But socially distancing, not at all, because it's impossible. What about beverage services? There was no beverage service from San Francisco to Miami, but from Miami to the Virgin Islands upon entering the airplane. So the flight attendants right at the doorstep, they hand you a paper bag with a small bottled water, a sack of pretzel, and a small packet of, I think that was an alcohol for sanitation. And the rest of the flight, there's nothing. There's no beverage. That's understandable. The less contact with the flight attendants and passenger, the way better. Of course, for safety reason. What about the lavatory on the airplane? It's just a typical lavatory, but I would recommend as much as possible if you're flying short flight, try to contain it. But long haul flight like this one, almost 6 hours, I could not contain it. I need to do number one. So I brought with me my gloves and my sanitizer. I was expecting that there is a sanitizer inside the lavatory. Nothing. So don't touch anything as much as you can. And then just go in and out immediately. Also, I recommend clean all those touch points, you know. They said they clean the airline thoroughly, you know, from in between flights. Well, I doubt. Well, they do, I guess, because that's a regulation. But to clear my thoughts, so I wipe off all the touch points, the handle, the belts, the buckle, the tray table. There's no monitor because American Airlines, they don't have monitor anymore, so you can enjoy their entertainment using your mobile device, which I did. Was there a temperature check? No. In San Francisco, there's no temperature check. In Miami, nada. But of course, in the Virgin Islands, they do have temperature check. I arrived in St. Thomas, which is the main island of the Virgin Islands. We all queued up, and they did a one-by-one temperature check, and they asked for some symptoms, and then they ask you, have you been close to a COVID patient? Answer is no, and then they put the temperature here. If you have a chill or fever, they will put you in an isolation area and have you chill a bit. Maybe it's the heat that you got from the outside or on the plane, and then they will check your temperature once again. They only did it once for me, and it registered 98.7 degrees Fahrenheit, which is all right. So the temperature is, if you're running fever, your temperature is 100.4, or I believe it's 38 degrees centigrade or Celsius, and then you're running a fever. Will they quarantine you in Virgin Islands? Yes, they will. What about if you have a fever upon arrival on the Virgin Islands? So once they found out that you do have this fever, they will check it again, see if your body the body temperature will decrease. If not, they will let you go to your accommodation, but within 24 hours they will send somebody to do a nasal swab. So you can't leave until you see the result. If your result is negative, then you can enjoy the island. But if your result is positive, they will quarantine you at your own expense. What if, let us say, a passenger who just arrived on the Virgin Island tested positive, another positive, so COVID positive. So can that patient take the plane back home? Practically can't, because no airline, no commercial airline will allow a passenger who has symptoms or who is COVID positive. So you gotta stay on the Virgin Islands and quarantine yourself. What about the hotels? Hotels, they are pretty good. I stayed in a hotel in the middle of the town. They're really pretty good. So they change the sheets and there's social distancing. There's I didn't see. Oh no, there's alcohol. Yeah, there's alcohol. There's hand sanitizer practically everywhere. Uh, there's less crowd, by the way. So I think I was the only guest that time. Maybe another guest. So that is to say, so there is less crowd, particularly this time. Considering the Virgin Islands is one of the islands where lots and lots of cruise ships and docks at the port, but because of this pandemic, there's no cruise happening at this time. So I think this is the best time to travel. So social distancing in the hotel, not a problem, at least for me. Alright folks, I think I've exhausted all the information that I freshly remember from my coconut, from my brain, I would say. I hope I didn't forget anything. So, but the only thing I would recommend if you are just like me, so who does not condone traveling in the midst of pandemic, I recommend please do a risk assessment. Now, it's risky traveling during this time. There's a high risk, do a risk assessment, plan ahead, and look at what are the safety requirements at the airport, the airline, as well as in the hotel, as well as the most important is that make certain that you are aware if there is a quarantine required for passenger. I came across this YouTube video on the internet. This guy, I think he's from Poland, and then he traveled to UK, and he wasn't aware that you can travel from Poland to UK. I think he took the train, but you have to quarantine. So whether you want it or not, okay, he was in quarantine for 14 days. And another thing, connect with a consular officer. Call the embassies or consulate, go online and look at the current latest updates of the nation. For instance, Bahamas in the Caribbean is open. They're requiring all passengers who are traveling internationally, no matter where you're coming from, you have to have a COVID negative test, okay, within 10 days. So you have to get your COVID test here at home and then make certain that is within 10 days before your arrival. The same thing with Antigua and Barbuda, also in the Caribbean. There, all passengers will be COVID tested, swab test. So that is to say, you have to get this test negative. So please, if you travel, whether domestically or internationally, plan ahead. Last but not the least, by the way, so if you have your plane ticket already, make certain that you connect with the airline or at least check online if there has been a change on your itinerary, because all of a sudden flights can be canceled, So that's what I did. I even called American Airlines a couple of days before my flight. I constantly check online if there has been change, flight cancellation. It was all good. So make certain that you plan ahead, as I said. Check with the airline before you go. Otherwise, you're getting to the airport when you're, hey, flight's canceled. Alright friends, I hope you consider traveling, no matter whether domestically or internationally, when the opportunity comes. In my opinion, it's just a new normal. This pandemic, it's a challenge. So this lingers. I think this will linger forever, just like the regular flu. We just need to live with it, with the hope that vaccine will come soon and very soon. Oh, by the way, before I forgot, I'm here home, and I think this is the last info, which is very, very important. So if you're flying and you're returning back to the United States, let's say for instance, coming from the Virgin Islands. So by the way, so this is not all similar to all nations, so they vary. Like for instance, there is no quarantining here in the States, not unless you are COVID positive. So once you arrive from a destination with a person-to-person transmission of COVID, so it is highly recommended for you. Let's say in my case, I just arrived from the Virgin Islands, so I need to. It's better to be responsible to monitor yourself for 14 days for vital signs such as cough, sneeze, fever, chills. Fever will be 100.4 degrees Fahrenheit or 38 degrees Celsius. So within 14 days. So whenever you have those symptoms, call your doctor. Don't go to the hospital, but call your doctor and let them know of your symptoms and your travel experience recently. So as a matter of fact, so this card, I'm gonna post it in the video that I will be creating. So this card, they provide this card to all travelers upon arrival in St. Thomas in the Virgin Islands. So this has all the information that I mentioned. So there is no quarantining, not unless you are COVID positive. So because in both places I've been, so let's say in the Virgin Islands, so there's no quarantining, but there is a thermal scan. Here back home in California, actually in Miami, there's not even a thermal scan. It's just a regular arrival as far as my experience is concerned. All right, so I think, so before I forget it, this is a very, very essential information. This is also to protect your loved ones, your friends. So avoid contact with people as much as possible. It doesn't mean that you are going to be inside your home and not even go to the grocery. Just being responsible and concerned about yourself and the community as well is monitor your vitals, okay, within 14 days, because at this point of time, according to research and according to this information, that the symptoms may occur so in the next 2 to 14 days, or a person could be asymptomatic, and that is even worse. All right, so I'm here home, so I will be preparing the dish that I said a while ago. I have all the ingredients just in my fridge, and I got the tomatoes. All right, bye for now. Have a great day, everyone. Keep that smile. Cheers. So, all right. So the information I gave just a while ago, so about this is only through here between the United States and Virgin Islands. So in other places, it may be different. Okay, so it's like, for instance, I can give this as an example. In the Philippines, when you travel, regardless whether you are a citizen of that nation or a traveler, they gotta quarantine you. Because during your quarantining process, so they will have to wait for the result of your COVID test, the swabbing, and they are the ones doing the swabbing. So you can't go to your final destination. You have to wait for the results to be available. So sometimes the result will take about more than 14 days. And then I encountered a video, and this person said that somebody in the quarantine hotel, quote unquote, has been there for more than a month, and they haven't gotten the result yet. So that is to say, when you travel during this pandemic, if you don't condone traveling during this season, just like me, but do a risk assessment before you make a decision to board on the plane or a train or whatnot. Do an extensive research. All right, as I said a while ago, research the consular office, the latest information, and then things change rapidly. Check your airline 2 days or in a day before your flight. As I said, check your flight and make certain that it's happening. You never know upon arrival in the terminal and it says, all right, flights canceled. Darn. So that's a big problem. So do research. So traveling this time is different. This is the new normal, okay? So we have to live with this because this, I believe, and according to what experts have been talking about that this is going to be part of the global system. So just like the typical flu that we have, on a yearly basis. So a lot of people is getting a flu vaccine with the hope that eventually we have this herd immunity on this COVID, as well as the unaffected vaccine for the people. All right. So those are the things that I would like to share. So I just want to make certain I said it in this video because this information is based on my experience and based on the regulations of the Virgin Islands and the United States. All right, so they vary. Bye for now. Cheers. Thank you, my friend, for watching the video. I hope you learned something. I did. Once again, my friends, traveling is not arriving to a new destination. It is looking at the world in a different perspective. Keep that smile and the world will smile at you. Cheers. Be safe. Bye. Bye from the Water Islands here in the Virgin Islands.